Welcome back to Football Coach, episode 83. Shabazz, the quarterback we brought in. We've reached the end of our preseason, and I ended up trading him in 3 out of the 4 sessions with great success. The scores weren't insanely increased, but they all got a breakthrough. Speed +3, quarterback IQ +3, speed, again, +5. And with that, he jumps from an 81 overall, where we signed him as a 77. So he had a +4 for the offseason gains. And then with these additional gains, we've pushed him to an 83. He's a redshirt freshman, where no juniors have gone and few seniors make for us anyway. I might have had one junior, I think that was in 83, and then as a senior, he was only in 85 or something like that. He had barely made gains. But rarefied air. Very rarefied air. Now, the potential's fallen away. It's down to a C+. Durability is not that great either. But we're looking at, for a freshman, he's got a 94 arm strength, 88 accuracy, 82 quarterback IQ, and we know that'll get better in the years to come. Ball carrier vision is solid at a 79. Ball security needs some work at a 58. That'll also improve in the coming years. But speed is now a very tolerable, not isolated pocket quarterback. 69. He can move a little bit. He can scramble a little bit. Evasion right there with it at a 71. This was a kid that Notre Dame recruited as a 72 overall. Became a 77. And I take it back. Those were his old ratings. He was an 82. He's an 83 now. Speed has pushed into the mid-70s. So much more acceptable than what it had been as a 74 overall. He was a 66 when we started the offseason. Well, we've got a great chance at hitting some of these bonuses for the year. 10 or fewer interceptions. Certainly possible. It is a freshman quarterback, but he's a good one. He's smart. He's accurate. He might succeed in that. Winning 5+ games seems quite easy for us. And beating Hawaii, well, not every year, but also a possibility. So there could be about 10 million extra in bonuses, which would definitely make up for the missing silver donor. And with the drop-off, the athletic director just looking for 6 games, winning 6 games. And I feel like that should easily still be within reach for us. But we did graduate a lot of seniors, a lot of good seniors, and the team is definitely younger this season than it's been for a while, and it did hurt our quality just a bit. We dropped from an 82-80 to an 81-80. Our rankings down just a little bit, and one of the key areas is rushing skill. We have depth, but we don't have a top-end quality this year at that position. So quarterback plays an 83, rushing skill is 78, run blocking, receiver skill, pass protection, low 80s. Defensively, pass rush, run stop looks great, but our man and zone coverage are hurting this year, where our tackling is solid. Special teams, very balanced, mid-upper 80s. Breaking it down, senior class, 9 starters, 12 overall. I love that we are, getting pretty balanced. I mean, there's only 12 seniors this year. That is such a small group. Compared to prior years, there's 23 juniors behind them. We've got 14 juniors starting with only 9 seniors starting. And quickly reviewing the roster, quarterback's great now for years to come. We really went for the fences and hit a home run. We have absolutely scored there. We've got a 79 at running back. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not 80 plus. No seniors. Will be strong next year. We'll be strong with Forbes in the future. Wide receiver looks good. Tight end looks good. Offensive line looks pretty good. Kicker, fine for another year. D-line, doing all right. Linebackers, looking better than they've looked in quite a few seasons. Corners, looking better again, but not a lot of guys in the 80s, just a ton of upper 70s. Just the one, Horton. And safety's solid. I mean, 3 guys in the 80s, plus quality just behind him, and very few seniors to graduate. Some of them aren't good, like Gray, Hicks, Sunga, Tate. Healthy squad is very deep this year. It's just we're missing some of those players in the 80s, particularly at running back, where we've got a 79 and 2 76s to back them up. We've been far worse than that, but we've definitely been better than that, especially in the last couple of years. We just graduated our big guy. Tight end's okay. It's not great. 80 is the top man, but even the lowest is still a 73. But that's also a big key. The offensive line, our weakest is a 73. Just a few years ago, our best player was a 73. We've been there, we've done that, and we had many seasons of that. So to have 4 guys above 80 and have plenty of depth in the ones backing them up is good. And outside of a single D lineman in Washington as a 68 overall, and then the next lowest on the depth chart is a 72 at linebacker, which was a real weakness for us until really this year. Cornerback not as deep, but the last guy's is 76. Wide receiver, plenty of depth. 4 players at 80 plus. So I'm excited about this team and the fact that there are seniors not even in the depth chart, and there aren't that many seniors. So we're not graduating that many guys, and I would expect that this year could be another 7 or 8 win kind of season. But I'm optimistic that next year is the year we go for it. So our quality is not great this season, and we should do well enough, but not great. Maybe we rebound, push back towards the 4th prestige star, but we're speeding things up. I'm going to quick sim everything this season. Not all seasons, but this season. 47-7 we beat Rutgers to open the year. That was out of conference. One of just 4 home games on the entire season, and we lose it. But Temple, who emerged last season seemingly out of nowhere, have gone even further for this season. Their offense was an 84 overall rating. Ours is an 81. And their defense is not great, but it's not awful. It was enough for them to beat us 37-27. They're really strong offense against, well, we've struggled on defense for years now. 1 injury picked up, but otherwise we're doing all right so far. 1-1. Syracuse on paper, very similar to us. They were an 80-80. We're an 81-80. That game could have gone either way, but we were on the road. Syracuse was the other team that's really surprised over the last couple of seasons. Not an easy start to our calendar. We're probably right where we should be head-to-head right now at 1-2. Here's the first frustration of the year. The other 2 games I expected to lose. Memphis, no reason to lose. Absolutely no reason to lose. They're awful. They are awful on paper. We dropped to 1-3. Offense not showing up today. Apparently I was doing more for the team than I thought, because now we just lost to East Carolina. Now, last year East Carolina was where all the trouble started, where we looked dominant on paper, were dominant, and then all of a sudden we had like 5 turnovers and the game was close, but we still won. Here the offense only puts up 14 points, where the defense actually does show up. We lose 16-14, drop to 1-4. So we can't beat East Carolina, but we can beat Oregon at Autzen in Eugene. It's our first ever top 25 victory. No, it's our second. It's our second ever top 25 victory, but it is our first top 10 victory. 2-4. Both wins out of conference. Never mind the conference at this point. We're just trying to secure our wins for the year now. We finally have our top linebacker back from his injury, and we add one additional injury. Those are the only 2 injuries we've had all year, so we've actually been really healthy. If you count this in the should category, because we did, I don't count it as really a should. But on the other 2 very much winnable Memphis East Carolina games, we should be 4-2. So the quick sims obviously been very hit and miss so far this season. But SMU, it's no mistake that they beat us. They've been awful for the last about 5 years, maybe 4. However, this year they are incredibly strong. They have really managed to put together a deep, deep roster. So we're looking at 3 teams already in the conference that have been us winning 2 out of those 3 every year into like legit all 3 very capable of beating us, and all 3 did beat us. And the offense has been the problem, and that's not been the problem of late. Now, yes, running back's a bit of a problem this year, but we've got an offensive line and a quarterback and skill players, at least along the line of scrimmage, that are capable. We shouldn't be scoring 7 in a game at all. Especially when the defense is actually playing well. It's another day of just 17 points. Our defense has held quite well this season. Unfortunate that the offense is the one not showing up this time around, and we're 2-5. Something I've noticed here at 8 games through the season is that outside of the opening game of the year, everybody we've been up against, all of them, have gotten better than a year ago. And we've gotten just a little bit worse. And so a lot of comfortable games that just weren't very comfortable last year, but we still won a fair few of them. A lot of really comfortable games have gotten difficult. Tulane has been a challenge. They are near our quality, but we won on the road 28-21. So we go to 3-5, finally get our first conference victory of the season. Through it all, we've managed to claw our way up to 4-5 now, 2 No, never mind. This was our other out of conference. We went undefeated in our out of conference games this year, including a top 10 program within that calendar, and a 2-star Purdue. That's who we've beaten here. So 34-22, and we rise to 4-5. We've already gotten our 4 wins for the year that somebody required. Maybe 5 was the minimum. No, it was 4 or 6, right? That we needed. Anyway, 1 new injury, but we got 1 guy recovered from injury, and we have missed out on that one. Okay, we've got 1 recruit so far. It is A- potential on the one we have. Well, we're up to 5-5. We've beaten Wake Forest 27-17. So many low-scoring games this season, and we have yet another guy not signing with us. Well, we still cannot beat South Florida, but man, it was so much closer. The defense doing so well all season long, but the offense just coming up short over and over again. We got 4 guys, all with a potential ready to sign. Now, I've got a very mixed bag of I've won some of these battles. I've also lost and given up some of these battles. So how many of these do we get? 3 out of the 4. This was anybody's game scenario. It was us versus Hawaii, and on paper we were the same team. Same quality both ways. Hawaii looking a lot better this year. We both had the same record coming into it, but we do not get to 500. We dropped to 5-7, losing this one. We got a few more guys ready to sign. 4 stars. LSU just came in last week. We almost had them too. We bumped up from 5th to 3rd, and we were getting pretty close to the top of the list. LSU was 2nd, so they were the one just ahead of us. And yeah, we couldn't overcome that, but we almost had a 4-star guy. He was only C potential anyway, but a 64 for a D lineman is a great starting point. We do get a good tight end here, though. 2 more A- potential guys. A lot of A- potential guys in this class. So with 5 wins, we go 57th, almost right where we were a year ago when we were 7-5. Why are we 57th when we're 5-7? I think it's because of the Oregon victory is weighted more heavily as we beat a top 10 team, and so that pushes us up higher. We're ahead of Hawaii. who went 6-6 and beat us, where last year it was that opposite, right? Dallas, SMU, has won the division this time, not South Florida. They're both in the top 35. We're ahead of Memphis, who beat us. Tulane, we barely squeaked out victory on. Syracuse, Temple were dominant. Those weren't big surprises. But we didn't get Indiana. We didn't get Tulsa on the calendar this year. And we lost to East Carolina. Well, we needed to win 5 games to get $1.5 million. We got that. 10 or fewer interceptions, just 6. We got that. That's 5.25. The only thing we missed out on was beating Hawaii, and that $3 million. So we are going to get pretty healthy bonuses from the donors. The objective for the year, ranking-wise, should be lower now that we're down to three stars. So we might be about neutral for the year. So not bad for rushing through a year. I think now if we're controlling things, I think it's another 7-5 kind of season. We probably beat Hawaii. We probably win. We could be as many as 3 more wins. I doubt we get all of them, though. I think the on paper very well seems to be how things go. We have winnable games that we lose frequently, and overcoming the AI only carries you so far. Yeah, we're top 50 quality. Points per game, right there, 46th. Defensively, at 21 points per game, that was 33rd. That was solid. Yards per game, right at 45th. Defensively, 49th. So we performed as expected this year. But we lost 3 games we should have won. We won 1 game we should have lost. Yeah, I think on balance, a 6-6 or a 7-5 year would have been probably what would have happened had we controlled throughout the year. Clemson, Ohio State, LSU, Texas are the top 4 seeds in the playoff this year. SMU gets that last spot at 10-3, and we do not make a bowl game. The last team in, Colorado, was the one and only 5-7 team this year. So we do miss out on a bowl game for the first time in a long time. But I think the sacrifice was worth it to get through an entire season in one episode. I'm going to do my recruiting off camera again. I will show you, though, what happens with the playoff. But otherwise, that's going to be it for this episode and this season. Now, here's the thing. I have a new series coming out. And it's college football. But I picked up a PS5, and it'll be the EA Sports college football game. That is going to largely take the place of this series, but I will still have probably 1 episode a week in this fashion as we progress. Largely down to viewership being what it is these days. It's my least watched series, so unfortunately it is what it is. I don't want to be done with it, but I've got to move on for reasons, and it can take a really long time to get through an episode. It can take me most of a day, as this one has. I've been working on this for about 3 hours. Yesterday, when I recorded the last episode of this one, it took me 6.5. So, and that's before getting in and editing and rendering, posting, all of that extra work on top of it, just the recording sessions itself. And I still have all the off-season stuff to navigate, so that's going to take me some time. So probably going to get weekly updates on this with a season at a time, and we'll see if we can still get somewhere with this series, and fingers crossed it doesn't just disappear, because that's possible. But hopefully I'll be able to still keep it going, one per week. I certainly want to see what happens next season, because I feel like we've got a much stronger team for next season. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, so does the rest of the conference. That was the big surprise this year. Was we were still very similar state, but we came out a couple wins worse, and in conference we were significantly worse. Now, the sim was a big part of that, but the quality of the conference foes was so much better this year than it's been in years past. So not sure where that came from, that suddenly everybody in the conference just figured it out and pulled together a strong roster as we were in a rebuilding year. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.